Warning, this is pure speculation. I don't claim to know when the NX is going to be released, but with the right amount of research, looking back at the history of all the other Nintendo consoles, we can get a general idea of when the thing will be unveiled and when we can finally get our hands on it. It seems like every other day on NeoGAF, somebody claims that the NX launch date or reveal plans have leaked. Even Kevin Pereira tweeted this gem, which was clearly false. Maybe a joke even. Yeah, good one. Here's the thing. People love NX speculation. I love NX speculation. That's why I'm making this video. The latest rumors come way of some source code tweaking on the French version of the official Nintendo website. A quick retooling of the JavaScript will show the release date of these Zelda Breath of the Wild amiibos to be April 3rd, 2017. And as you might know, Breath of the Wild is supposedly an NX launch title. Even though this is from Nintendo themselves, this is still a rumor. They didn't give any official word on this. This could just be placeholder text. Maybe their plans change. Maybe the game comes out before or after the amiibos do. Who knows? Nobody knows. That's the freaking point. What we do know is that in April 2016, Nintendo told its investors that the NX will be released in the fiscal year of 2016, which ends at the end of March 2017. So if this is still the case, the NX needs to be released in March to meet that goal. It's also highly speculated that they delayed the release of Breath of the Wild to match up with the launch of the NX. But, I mean, it's pretty much fact. They delayed Breath of the Wild at the same time as they announced the NX. If Breath of the Wild is a launch title, then it has to be released in March in order to make it into the 2016 fiscal year, unless those plans have changed. With this information in mind, let's take a look back at how some of the other Nintendo consoles were launched. Most of the home consoles were launched in the winter, with a wide launch window across the globe. The N64 was the biggest deviation, with its Japanese launch landing in June. A majority of their handheld consoles, though, launched earlier in the year, with most of them falling around March. The original Game Boy was launched in Japan in June of 1989, but this was the first real handheld Nintendo console, so we can't really use this to draw any comparisons. The original Game Boy Advance was launched in March 2001 in Japan and June in the US, and was announced in August 2000. The original 3DS was launched in February of 2011 in Japan and late March in North America, also presumably to meet the previous fiscal year. It was announced in March of 2010 and officially unveiled at E3 in June of that year. By comparison, the NX's existence was acknowledged at a press conference in March of 2015, 2 whole years before its supposed launch. I guess that's because of the dire situation Nintendo was in at the time. They needed to tell their investors that something was going to be done about the failing Wii U. This explains why everybody thought that the NX was going to be revealed at E3 this year, because it just made sense. It's been so long. Every time Nintendo has a Direct, people expect them to announce the NX. Every time there's a gaming expo and Nintendo's going to be there, people expect the NX. The latest rumor suggested a reveal at the Tokyo Game Show, but that didn't happen. Basically, we're just waiting. Any day now we're going to see a reveal. This is really late for them, especially if they're shooting for a spring launch. At this point, I'm starting to doubt that they even have everything figured out about the console. What if they push the launch back to the summer? They'd catch a lot of flack for delaying Breath of the Wild again. Hitting that 2016 fiscal year used to be important to them, but their stock prices skyrocketed after the launch of Pokemon Go, then hit another bump after the reveal of Super Mario Run, so they're doing pretty well. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, you know what? We're good for 2016, and just called it a day and waited for the next fiscal year. Miyamoto did say that they're worried about people imitating the NX if they revealed it too early, so that could be a big reason why they're waiting so long to reveal it. That seems like a solid reason. It's just not normal for Nintendo looking at their past releases. And still no official word from Nintendo. We're just at the edge of our seat waiting. Any day now. And these days, Nintendo has the luxury of the internet. They're capable of launching their own global events in the form of Nintendo Directs. They don't have to wait for an E3 or a Tokyo Game Show or anything. They can make their own press releases. It would be interesting to see them announce the NX around the holiday season, because that would presumably reduce sales of their other stuff. So we're literally waiting for something to happen any day now. The last Nintendo Direct was September 1st and focused on 3DS, specifically games being ported over from the Wii U, like Yoshi's Woolly World and Super Mario Maker, finally! Maybe this means that the NX will be backwards compatible with 3DS games and not Wii U games? Anyway, it looks like this holiday season is going to be very 3DS focused for Nintendo. Maybe if the NX is backwards compatible with 3DS games, then it won't sway potential buyers away from picking up these new 3DS games. Nintendo learned very early on that backwards compatibility was important to its consumers. That's why you see backwards compatibility in almost every one of their consoles since the SNES.
At $200, a Super Nintendo setup costs twice as much as the old system, and you can't mix and match.
But the last Direct wasn't the last big Nintendo announcement. That would be at the Apple event on September 7th, where they surprised everybody and came out and unveiled Super Mario Run. They say it'll be releasing sometime in December, so I wouldn't expect an NX reveal anytime around then. You don't want the launch of Super Mario Run to muddy any NX news. Another big release is going to be in November, Pokemon Sun and Moon. With all that momentum from Pokemon Go, they probably wouldn't want that to muddy any NX news either. You have to just assume that they are spacing these big media events out to woo investors. Think like an ignorant investor. Nintendo has to keep your interest, so they're going to try to have some interesting news for you every month or so. So what about an NX reveal early next year? Well, that makes sense, but isn't that way too late? The Wii U was unveiled at E3 in June 2011 and speculated to start off the 2012 fiscal year in April. It wasn't actually released until November of 2012. Yeesh. The 3DS was announced in March 2010 and officially unveiled at E3 2010. Like we said before, it was launched in Japan in February and in America at the very end of March, just making that fiscal year. We're very due for an NX reveal any day now, even if it is going to be pushed back, which would upset so many people. Like me, I've been waiting all this time to go to all the events, you're never there, and then we keep making all these videos about it, and you're just not giving us anything to work on. What do you guys think? When will the NX be launched, and when will it be unveiled, and what the hell is taking them so long? Is it because they don't got everything figured out? They still got all these freaking patents they're making? Leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter, all of this other social media garbage. New videos every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday nights is Wulff Den Live. Be a part of our live podcast. Talk to us. That gets archived on Thursday in case you miss it. Join me for my live streams over on Twitch, where I do creative drawing and stuff on this lovely tablet over here. As always, the most important things that you can do is subscribe and share this video with a friend who also likes to speculate on the Nintendo rumors. Who's posting all those articles all the time about all this garbage, like, oh, check out the JavaScript. Well, thank you guys very much. Have a good week. This lens is so wide. There are lots of NX rumors going around right now, and they all pretty much agree that the NX is going to be a mobile / home console hybrid. A new rumor states that the NX is not going to be competing against the Xbox One or the PS4, which, duh. But it's going to be competing against the mobile market, like smartphones. Wait, no, don't moan. This is a great thing, I swear. And having iterative consoles like this is an absolute f***ing nightmare for game developers, because now they have to develop for the superior hardware with the inferior hardware in mind. Previously, that superior hardware was PC, and the inferior hardware was consoles. And modern games that were multi-platform would be spec'd out for consoles and run like complete trash on PC.